Ichi, ni, sun, all together. Di, sun. Wait, we messed it up. One more time. Ichi, ni, sun, da. Because it is time for AEW news. So Neckbeards posted this little clip here. AEW Dynamite 600K NXT, and they did their lowest key demo ever. NXT 698. Running with scissors is fun. Yeah, this show's like cooked, bro, for TV, as far as TV is concerned. So Tony Khan did some new he spoke to some people. So here's ringside news, right? And Tony Khan gives them an interview, and we'll share this over here. So Tony Khan, AEW's changed a lot over the years, especially in how the show looks and feels. The production quality has improved a lot, etc. While speaking during the AEW Revolution media call, Tony Khan addressed the rumor that AEW doesn't have production meetings. He explained that he meets with different groups and individuals throughout event days, including production staff, coaches, and announcers, and sometimes multiple times. Yeah, that's the problem, Tony. It's so funny. He was like, there's no problem. And then it's like he explains what the problem is. Tony Khan. Tony, that's the problem. You shouldn't be meeting with them all separately, maybe a little bit after, like to hash things out, and before maybe, but you need to have a meeting with everybody together where everyone's on the same page before the show goes out. This is what we're doing. Everyone got it? Okay. Like that has to be a thing too, no? Like Jesus Christ, man. That's so crazy how he just says that. So everyone's isolated, being told isolated, and you have to meet with them all multiple times. Why? If you just met with them all one final time. Or like I get meeting with people throughout the day and multiple times, but why not have one blanket meeting with everyone? Anyways, though, it's because it's clicky, and he's keeping it that way. He enables it. So Tony Khan said some of the rumors he read. Look, he explained that he meets with different groups. He is always working to improve communication and believes their process works well. It doesn't. Tony Khan said some of the rumors he read were completely false, which is why he noticed people backtracking on them. Who, bro? Alvarez? Because you phoned him? Because when he came to Collision, you gave him a talking to? While Cena was having the greatest heel turn ever. Tony's yelling at Alvarez, and look, you son of a bitch, you made me miss John Cena's heel turn. I've waited my whole life for this. I've waited 20 years for this moment, and you did up. And they taped this one. Why didn't they tape the last one where Cena was on the show, dude? This comes after Brian Alvarez. Okay, so here, Tony Khan said some of the rumors he heard were completely false. So listen to this. He buries Brian Alvarez. This maybe should have been in Dave Meltzer's dumb moment, but dude, here's a Brian. Okay? He doesn't focus on those things anymore. Well, good, Tony. I'm glad you're saying that you don't focus on that. And it seems like he hasn't, and hopefully there's not another meltdown, but he must have realized, like, yeah, dude, you talked all this shit and it came back to kick you in the ass. Now you got to give us 5 years of no talk. Just put on a good show. But he says he doesn't focus on those things anymore and wants to avoid unnecessary distractions. He also found some of the discussions amusing and suggested that people consider the source of the rumors. Brian. Dave Meltzer, buried by Tony Khan, and Brian, buried by Tony Khan. But listen, here's one thing that I point out that nobody points out either. Alvarez is a bit of an outsider there. You don't see Alvarez in pictures with Tony Khan. Alvarez isn't texting Tony Khan. When Alvarez goes to ask questions, Christian Cage is like, you are a goofball. What are you doing here? That sort of thing. Dave won't go there and ask questions himself, but Brian, like, yeah, he's friends with the Bucks. That's still a different clique than, like, even though Tony and the Bucks are cool, there's still different cliques, man. You gotta understand. Everyone's clicked up there, and no one really talks about it. Like, Brian is kind of on the outside of Tony as well. Yeah, he ball sniffs because he has to. That's why he doesn't get a pass with me. That's why he's on the list, because he ball sniffs because he's just going to take over Meltzer, and he's going to do the same thing. He's just going to for access or whatever. But anyways, so Tony Khan says, consider the source of the rumors. This comes after Brian Alvarez claimed on the Observer that they don't hold production meetings, which has led to frustration among some of the people in the company. According to Alvarez, he regularly hears complaints from AEW talent questioning why these meetings don't take place. And of course, that stirred up backstage. And this is why I make fun of these folks, because they don't really help wrestling with this. Despite the rumors, AEW keeps improving its production, blah, blah, blah. That's Ringside News' opinion, and there's some kookies too. So, yeah, that's Tony, man. Just setting the record straight. Brian, you're a goof. Stop shilling for them. Start telling the truth, bro. So, following the releases of Ricky Starks, Miro, Malachi Black, and Ray Phoenix, Tony Khan says AEW talent releases are a case-by-case basis, and the recent departures were the right thing for the company and everyone involved. Well, we save a couple bucks, and, I'm starting to come around. It's a whole new me, right? Right, guys? See, I'm cool again. I don't really care about that stuff over there, and these guys can go case by case. What the? So speaking of Big Boom AJ, who I was just speaking about, let's hear him cut a promo. He's at like the New Japan dojo.
Hey, it's Big Boom AJ, and I came here to the NJPW Wrestling Academy to bring the boom. Hey, it's Big Boom AJ, and I came here to the NJ.
One more time.
PW Wrestling Academy to bring the boom.
So Tony had a few weeks of well-praised shows and it went immediately to his head as predicted, and he had to tell the world that he was responsible for it and that the people watching the shows, excluding the hundreds of thousands he ran off, are happy with the product. And it's crazy because this is like the Bucks taking a victory lap after they ran Punk out of the company. They're just blowing themselves, even the fans. Oh, AEW's been on a series of stellar shows. It's like, bro, a few good shows. Like, come on, man. That's nothing, What has it resulted in? Like, you have to do more than that. John Alba, just sniffing his own farts. Tony Khan says he has pushed back on a lot of creative pitches over the last few months. But what you've seen on TV the last few months have largely come from him. So he's taking credit for most of the stuff. Oh, just the stuff you like, Khan says he did this exact thing 5 years ago going into Revolution. He says sometimes he sees people who clearly haven't watched the shows talking about them, but thinks people who are watching are happy with the product. You ran everyone off and the people who are still watching. So exactly, you just want your core sickos. You just only want the people who go, this is great, even when it's not great. That makes no sense, dude. Oh my God. He sees people who clearly haven't watched. No, it's because you are being told yes, yes, yes. You're just seeing people say no and you don't like it. I will say Tony's booking has improved the past 5 weeks, but he's one of those guys, yeah. One of those guys and personalities where you're almost afraid to give him a compliment because it will go immediately to his head and he'll get overconfident again. Meltzer said what always calls it, dude. He always calls in my chat and it's the funniest thing, or in my DMs and it's the funniest thing. So here's Bonehead Baydala here, who goes, Tony Khan was asked about the John Cena heel turn that happened on Saturday and if this would change his overall booking strategy for the pay-per-view or have a memorable moment, etc., due to the fact that it has dominated the news. Tony stated he keeps an eye on things. Yeah, WWE news. Tony stated he keeps an eye on things, but he's focused on his product. I can tell you I'm shocked this question was asked and answered. Tony could have absolutely just passed on the question or given a real quick answer. Well, it sounds like he did give a real quick answer, you dumb. Tony stated he keeps his eyes on things, but he focused on his own product. That's one sentence, Baydala. Like, what's wrong with you, bro? What the man? Baydala is a goober, okay?
You just made the list.
Glenn Gilberti says the quarter hour should tell you everything about where AEW is at. Their fans think they're on a great run, but nearly every single quarter hour is lower than the ones before it. Every week. The graph looks like a ski slope. It's fraudulent to think that's a good show. Exactly. Will Ospreay feels critics of his in-ring spots would be praising those spots if he had chosen to go to WWE. But then if I had gone there, they'd be wanking into tissues over me, bruv. And this guy starts making all these like rumors and innuendo, starts making all these creepy remarks. Right? Like, do you understand people's wives and children watch WWE largely? And he's like, oh, they'd be wanking over me spots, bruv. No, they wouldn't. In fact, they wouldn't at all. Just for real, dude. Like, people in WWE would be like, what is this guy doing? No selling everyone. That's what WWE fans would do. And I've pointed this out a long time ago. It's a point I harp on that no one really speaks about, but I truly believe that some of these AEW guys like Tony Khan They really think that if, like, let's say Raw was about to come on and then they just plug Dynamite in, that everyone would be like, oh my God, what is this thing? This is the new awesome all elite wrestling. Like, that's what they think. That would not happen. I'm sorry, guys. Wouldn't happen. Yeah, because they're just programmed sheep. No, because they're watching a television show that's consistent. And yes, the matches are important, you know? And but it's not everything. It's not the end all be all. Now in AEW, they're starting to try and tell more stories, but why? And then their fans are like, "Oh, do you see? They're telling stories, you idiots!" And it's like, yeah, just what I used to say this all the time. Go back to the early days of PWT, and I used to say all the
Best
time.
guys, Tony Khan.
No, I didn't say that, but I used to say this: Tony Khan's vision doesn't align with what these sickos want. He is trying to cater to them too much. But I'm telling you, like, ultimately, he's worrying. He's looking at the numbers like, oh, I'm telling you for sure. He's looking at this like, oh, the attendance, like, well, and the wrestlers aren't. So what you sickos are saying doesn't align. Ultimately, Tony's going to have to go, okay, I got to run a business. Like, I got to tell stories. I have to. Oh, their way is the right way, you know? And it's like, you all just could have admitted that, and then Tony would have gotten it sooner. But instead, we're in like La La Land here, where Tony's like, well, I'm taking credit for the good stuff lately, but all the stuff, that wasn't me, but, you know. And then Ospreay's like, yeah, bruv, if I fall down, get back up, fall down, get back up, they love it, bruv, you know. If I get tombstone off the apron, bruv, and then get back up, and then tombstone me mate, and then get back up, and then super kick and kick out. No, bro, they're not going to pop for that. 205 Live died for a reason. AEW Dynamite ratings cratered in the 18 to 49 demo for Wednesday's episode, with the show doing its lowest rating in the demo in its history for its time slot. The total audience, however, was up slightly from last week. The key demo's tuning out. Like, that's a big deal. And I told y'all, it's going to skew the other way. It's going to be like the few older people who were like into that because they were into it 10, 15 years ago. The New Japan, Young Bucks, all that on the internet, Ring of Honor, right? Which is what AEW has glorified, Ring of Honor. I'm so harsh, but it's the truth. And it's going to be like older people watching AEW, and it'll just be like all the young people watching WWE again. I really think that's what's about to happen. And the numbers indicate that. Again, I mean, and we haven't even seen Mox with the title. We see this Asian lady jumping out of a trash bin with their title before we see Mox with their goddamn title. Speaking of title, they're at the Queen of the Ring premiere. Kamille's nowhere in sight. You have Harley Cameron and Mercedes Moné like hugging it out. They're each other's dates on the red carpet for this thing after they just had a crazy feud that the fans actually bought into because they can't ever leave well enough alone in this company. And then, they're just putting over Toni Storm, and she gets attacked by Mariah May, which, if anything, sort of makes Mariah May look cool. And they up, man. It should have been like Toni Storm getting her lick back or something. It just makes Mariah May look real badass that she's like, we'll do it right now, you know? But yeah, just in time, as they say.
Where is that bitch?
Heavy lies the crown, Tony.
Look at the state of me. She's ruined my moment. She's ruined my moment.
And Tony is in the movie a lot, but I don't know who's in it more. I thought Camille's like the big boss at the end, you know? So I could be wrong about that, but fight.
Mariah! This is terribly embarrassing. I'm so sorry.
1 round left, I believe, here. Round 3, yeah.
No, this is a terribly embarrassing crime. This is embarrassing. No.
We got that. That was like a joke, right on us. Yeah. That was right on us.
I thought she got attacked. I think maybe that's another video. Maybe I have the actual like brawl itself, I believe. Tony Khan has discussed his decision to release multiple AEW names from their contracts. So Tony Khan says, I think everything is really a case-by-case basis. So much of life is a case-by-case basis. But I do think philosophically, you're right. It was a change from what I've been doing. But it just felt like the right thing for the company and everyone involved at this point. So yay, Tony Khan doing the company thing. Evil companies before these marks. I love it. We knew it was going to happen. I knew that it was always going to come around, and they'd have to just start admitting what we've all always known. But like I said, it's on a case-by-case basis. And he goes, yeah, and that's the thinking behind that. And that's why Dave says that. Well, the idea behind that, the thinking behind that. Well, Dave always says that because that's what him and Tony Khan say to each other. But like I said, it's on a case-by-case basis, and they're all different situations. But in this case, those did have similar outcomes. So it's fair to ask why now and why I wouldn't have done that before. And I just did it, and I just decided that's what I thought was the right thing to do at this point. But it's definitely fair to ask. But that's really all there was to it. Okay, well, we get it, bro. You just, he's saying that it was the right thing to do after what? So can I just tell you guys something? Like, let me just break this down. When he starts pulling people's shops down, you start directly with people's money, and then there starts to be legal that could end up happening, okay? Okay, some legal. I don't know why I hit that, but so let's say that's the case, and you go, oh, just sign an NDA and I'll let you go, actually. Sign up and with your money as part of your contract. That might have actually been breach of contract on my end. That's all I'm saying. It's the right thing to do now that I could possibly get sued again. That's all I'm saying, bro. Come on. Why wasn't it the right thing to do 6 months ago, bro? Well, I listened to Phil Marks and he really convinced me. I really listened to the people this time. I really listened to those around me. Except for this whole entire pay-per-view, I blocked everyone out. Where's the change of heart, Tony Khan? I just don't even buy that from you, dude. Like he's a decent guy, but I just don't buy what he's even saying here. It's, I just don't buy it for 1 second. I think someone is going to sue somebody or something, bro, for sure. Like he started up, like it comes to the point where it's like, at what point are you in breach of contract, bro? When you're like pulling people's merch down and saying, oh, you can work indies. Oh, you can't work those indies, though, all of a sudden. Because they were like saying Tony Khan in the crowd at that mall. So now you're not allowed to do those shows at Jericho, Ken. It's like, bro, at what point is that like directly with people? The same way you cry about when you take Cardona to do your Hammerstein show when GCW's running a show with Cardona at the Hammerstein Ballroom. You know what I mean? I think that's more what made Tony have a change of heart. But who knows, man? I don't know, but that'd be my guess personally. Like, really think about it. It's always reactionary and I point that out all the time. Tony doesn't actually, he doesn't come up with clever drone shots. He copies what they were doing before. He can't come up with his own nice stage aesthetic to give Dynamite its own identity. He's got white ropes and a blank canvas trying to make it look like WWE. He's around and gave WWE the opportunity to go, no, look how cool it is to have your logo in the center these days, right? Like, people want different. And he did up. He could have been the guy on that still. And all of these things I pointed out all the time. He's never on the forefront. He's always playing catch up. He's always doing like old angles that WWE did before, or letting guys do that they did in All Japan before or whatever. He's never coming up with anything fresh. It's always reactionary. And I just think that when it comes to him deciding to release people, coincidence that WWE released a bunch of people, then Tony's like, oh yeah, you guys could go quietly. I don't know, dude. And then Cena turns heel, and then, oh yeah, Phoenix is good now. Like, he's like hiding it behind their big news and just trying to stay quiet. Like, I think there could be legal, man, in my opinion. Like, what else would it be? What would make him all of a sudden just go? And he's literally saying in an interview, well, I'm blocking everybody out up to Revolution. All the good me, homie. All that good me, dog. Trust me. Holy man, it's ridiculous. But anyways, Tony Khan reacts to Cena's heel turn. Speaking of Cena's heel turn, he goes, we're really very happy with the shows right now. I love that. It's a good answer, though. The quality of the shows have been tremendous, and we've helped build a lot of excitement around the original Revolution by just doing great shows week in and week out. It's been like a month of decent shows. Some of them are still really bad, bro. Like 2 Dynamites ago, and really great shows with like the lowest ratings. The key demos dying, but they're great shows. To who, man? To us marks, to us sickos who are like, yeah, I mean, that was a good show. I don't know, but that's like me when TNA was kind of good, when like EC3 was cooking on there. And you're like, man, I'm telling you, it was a good show, dude. Galloway's cooking, you're like, it was good, bro. Everyone's like, okay, yeah, it's TNA, bro. We get it. Lashley's there. Whatever, you know? It's literally that now. So yeah, it was a good, like I'm saying, it's a good show. I'm a sicko, dude. What do you know? Anyways, so he's like, it worked so well for us. So I think if we do that here, it will pay off for us. We do take big swings and do exciting things on the shows, and we have big developments, big moments. What? Name one. And I want to keep doing that. What was a big moment? When Yuta shoved Mox? You know, the last big moment, I guess, was like Sting's retirement, and even that was overshadowed by Darby like flying off. But I don't want to change anything we're doing just because another wrestling promotion has changed what they're doing. They haven't changed a thing. They're telling stories, bro. I think it's important to keep an eye on what's happening in the world of wrestling. There are exciting things happening all over the sport, but one of the most exciting things and the thing I'm focused on, most excited for, is this Sunday, the AEW Revolution pay-per-view. And good, I'm giving Tony a shout out because good on him to not fold and be like marking out over what they're doing. Just focus on your put over your and just say you watch everything, obviously. There you go. That's the way to do it. He pulled it off. That's actually a relatively based Tony McCon answer, you know? So here's Neckbeards. There you have it, folks. So this guy, Paul Pimentel, says first time going to any pro wrestling event. LOL. Tickets were cheap and it was close, so why not? AEW Dynamite Collision. So Kimberly Ford, typically very positive on X. She goes, and how was it? What did you enjoy? What did you not enjoy? What were you surprised by? Finally, did it smell? And the dude says, definitely smelt. God damn it. All right. So Neckbeard says, there you have it, folks. Unfortunate. AEW is reportedly planning on letting Abaddon and Nick Comoroto's contracts expire. And I was sitting here thinking to myself, dude, you couldn't figure out what to do with Nick Comoroto? What? Let's pull up Nick Comoroto. Let's just pull this up, a photograph of this giant jacked monster. Look at that. How could you not do something with that guy? Now, Evil Dose pointed out to me, he's like, yeah, dude, he's made for the D'Angelo family, and goddamn, that would be awesome. That would make so much sense. And if Luca Crucifino is like overdoing his own thing and being like, yo, I'm overseeing this, I'm over here, and D'Angelo's over there now. He's over there, and I'm over here now, right? If they are doing that sort of thing, this could be like Crucifino's heater type, you know. Abaddon, I mean, she could sign to TNA and do some with Rosemary or something. That could be cool. But the fact that you have like big jacked giant freak looking hairy beast Comoroto and you don't turn him into like a monster heel who's like threatening your mid-card titles, that's insane to me, truly. And these are the fumbles we're talking about. Like, imagine Wardlow's just sitting around, dude. Crazy. Yeah, I'm not here to fantasy mark book Comoroto or be like, get him to WWE now. But if he was in the D'Angelo family, that would work. I'm not saying, oh, book him as a singles in TNA or, you know, I'm sure he'll be fine in whatever he does. But I would love to see him with the D'Angelo family. I think that's actually a perfect fit. And shout out Dose for fantasy mark booking that. But yeah, Abaddon, I'm not like itching to see. I don't really, it's okay. You know, again, for everyone who's like, they just want everyone from, I don't want to see Abaddon in NXT. I don't even want to see her there. Her with Rosemary, though, maybe in TNA, they could do something fun. Maybe Maple Leaf Pro, Rosemary and Abaddon could form a tag team there, maybe. That'd be cool. It's funny, though. Now Meltzer's leaking it out, and Tony Khan's just letting them expire, and da-da-da-da, and it's all good now. So here is the Hurt Syndicate pocket check-in Chris Van Vliet, no money, trying to put him in the Hurt Lock. But Giga Chad Van Vliet, of course, busts out because he's so burly and Giga Chadish.
Exclusive video. Everybody
Thirstcast over Van Vliet over here.
Great legs, great cookies, great facts, great raps from great fast. Business with the syndicate, finish it.
That's pretty funny.
I gotta say thank you, MVP, for saving the day here. Wow.
Hell yeah. That's pretty funny. Moving along. So while I have your attention here, folks, and before we move on with more of the graps, if you're into my coverage of pro wrestling and like what I do, consider checking out my other YouTube channel, Phil Marks Out, that I just launched with my episode 1 and 2 review of Daredevil. If you like movies and pop culture and YouTube drama and TV show reviews and things of that nature, and you like to hear my unique take and perspectives and hearing me rant about stuff, then head over to youtube.com/@PhilMarksOut. Subscribe over there. It's a different format than Pro Wrestle Times or Pro Wrestle Clips. Obviously, if a live show or podcast comes down the line, that's one thing, but it's actually me sort of staying sharp and flexing my video editing skills while also doing more scripted content, and I think you guys will enjoy it a lot, and I got a lot of insight in that world too. So if you enjoy movies, TV show, music, pop culture, YouTube drama, all of that sort of stuff, and you want to hear what I got to say about things other than graps, then make sure you head to Phil Marks Out and hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to babbling about some grappling. So Meltzer said what says, congrats on the Amazon Prime distribution and the buzz surrounding this Sunday's Revolution. So this was on the call. This is the preamble on the AEW Revolution media call. This is what the media was saying to Tony Khan. You couldn't be more of a nut sniffer. So the preamble, the media guy asks Tony Khan, like, who are you selling this to, Tony? This is why this is what we mean. This is people trying to convince themselves this good. They're trying to convince each other and themselves because they don't actually believe it. So this guy goes on the media call with Tony Khan and says this to Tony Khan. Congrats on the Amazon Prime distribution and the buzz surrounding this Sunday's Revolution live from Los Angeles. Like, what the are you even talking about, man? So here we go. Cultaholic, right? Cultaholic. Will Ospreay has addressed Triple H's comments about wrestlers not wanting the grind of working in WWE. And Ospreay says, he was talking about me, bruv. I've got people that I won't throw under the bus saying, yeah, it was about me, bruv. Who? Meltzer and those clowns? That's who it is, bruv. Meltzer and those clowns are telling you, that's who's telling you don't want to throw under the bus. That's who told you. You can't get over it. I don't hate the guy. I've never met him, bruv. How can I hate someone that I've never even met? And then why'd you take it so personally, bruv? And I wrote CVV's a real one for bringing it up because this was his most liked tweet or response under his thing too, man. Look how much views it got, and it was the most liked thing. Right. So Van Vliet goes, I'm looking forward to sitting down with Ospreay tomorrow. It's been a while since he was on the show back in 2023. Got any questions? And I go, why is he so obsessed with Triple H? Will got a fat guy in an indie to dress like Triple H and come out to his music the other week so that he could pedigree him. Why? Ospreay has never worked in WWE and has no connection to them. Seems weird and tribalist to the fans. Thanks. See, that's good mood Phil right there. You know, I like Giga Chad. So okay. So Adam Copeland says he found the Death Rider storyline confusing at first. And I quote tweeted, I was like, oh, is Copeland just a out of touch old podcaster now? Is he a WWE shill now because he found it confusing like everybody else on the planet of Earth that's tried to consume it? So here is AJ and Big Justice, and man, you guys gotta watch their podcast. I'm telling you, my God, is it just disturbing. If you think these social media clips are, check out their pod, I'm telling you. Or check out who are these podcasts checking out their pod. An EFAP of an EFAP, if you will. And so they say, heading to AEW Collision in Jacksonville with Mama Justice, Big Justice, Ashley, and RZA. Bring the boom.
Today, we are heading to AEW.
AEW Collision right here tonight in Jacksonville, Florida. We're heading over to the Daily Arena.
And we're going to bring the boom.
The Daily Arena. Daly's place.
Oh, Jacksonville's really nice. We're driving along the river here. I just like it here. Everything looks new and
really
fresh.
Clean.
Yeah.
There's Mama Justice. Hi, bring the boom. Bring the boom. And then there's Big Justice. Bring the boom.
Is Jacksonville new and clean, chat? Anyone from Jacksonville who can confirm or deny their interpretation of Jacksonville?
And of course, Riza is our driver.
Oh, Riza. Sorry, I said RZA. Rizla. I don't know. The RZA, the Jizza. Inspector Deck, the old dirty bastard. Method Man. You know what I'm saying? Raekwon, the chef, the Wu-Tang Clan. Did I say old dirty?
There's Riza. Riza brings the
Hey, buddy.
boom.
We always find the best drivers everywhere we go.
Oh, look, guys.
There we go. Tony's team.
Wu-Tang is for the children, chat. Never forget.
There it is right there.
Right there.
So, Big Boom AJ, what is going to be your role tonight?
I don't know. We're going to find out when we get there.
Yeah.
I know we're going to be doing a lot of promoting coming up for
You God, that's who I forgot.
our match at Revolution in Los Angeles. So we'll see what's going on tonight.
Yep.
Take a look at this right here, though. Actually, we got Everbank Stadium right there where the Jacksonville Jaguars play.
But where AEW doesn't do shows. Oh, look at this cool stadium. We're going to their the attachment building over here that Shad built for Tony, so he stayed out of the main building, dude. This is so funny.
Trevor Lawrence plays right there. And now here's the Daly Arena. We're coming up to the entrance right here.
I'm not even shitting on, like, it's really cool, but it's just so funny. I was like, oh, here's this really cool arena, and then here's like this one over here.
And this is where we will be wrestling tonight.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh yeah, dude, look at this sweet arena over here where it's amazing, bro. All these famous guys play here, the Jaguars. Yeah, dude, it seats this many, and then here's this little arena right here that I'm wrestling in. Dude, it's like a Chris Lilly parody comedy show of wrestling, I swear. So here's King Gao, who's like, Nick Jackson is in crazy shape. That super kick party, hitting speakers in Staples Center. When the Young Bucks confront the Hurt Syndicate is going to move mountains, I've heard. If they bring them back as just straight up babyface, first off, yeah. Anyways, if they just showed Mario Lopez on screen at the UFC, he's in better shape than Nick Jackson. But I will say this though, at least they are like taking it seriously a little bit. If he is getting ripped like that, I'm glad, because they were looking a little schlubby even in Japan, dude. And I will say this, if they come back as just baby faces to confront the Hurt Syndicate, the people will reject them so hard, man. And people will turn against that. People do not want to see Hurt Syndicate wrestle the Bucks. I'm so sorry. Don't do it. Do not do it. Don't do it. It's either they're going to do that or they're going to save Edge and do like the Cope Bucks or whatever against Mox and his guys, right? Because even if Yuta leaves, you have Pac and Claudio there or something. They can't come back as baby faces, man. That will come across so bad. And anybody who disagrees with that's just, you want to talk about not watching the show. It was not long ago that they were trying to invade and Tombstone Tony and all this. So no, you're not coming back as baby faces now and saving. Okay, that is not about to happen. And we're like, that's like gonna turn 100,000 more off the show. I promise you that they do that. I can't stress that enough. I'm so not looking forward to Revolution, dude. I think it's gonna. Well, who knows? Maybe it's a great show, and then we're all like, "What a great show!" But no hype, you know. That's the best case scenario. Worst case, though, is it is on some shit, and like they go around and they up with just the booking, you know, some of the booking here. Like if Mox walks out with the belt, they're cooked, you know. So Will Ospreay says people told him Triple H is not in it for the grind. Comment was about him. He was. I've got people that I won't throw under the bus. So he says, I'm not taking it personally in that, oh, it hurt my feelings, bruv. It's like you take a jab at me, I'll take one back. There's nothing horrible about it. Yeah, but then why'd you wrestle a fat guy on an indie then who came out like Triple H, like dressed like Triple H? And why'd you do that? Because you're full of it, man. I've never spoken to him. I have an agent. So then this makes it worse too. So you never spoke to him, but then you thought his comment was directed at you, even though you never spoke to him. So why'd you take it so personally? It could have been about anybody else. But if the shoe fits, wear it, Ospreay. That's the old saying. And that's what you did by coping here. And thank God. And I'm glad CVV took it there. And I'm not saying he wouldn't have done it on his own, but go check it out. That post, like that was the most liked was my post. Right? So that's all I'm saying, dude. He obviously, like, he's a real one, man. CVV, everyone's like, man, he just vanilla takes, shills for lets people. No, he interviews people accordingly. I would say perfectly. He gives them the perfect amount if they deserve it, and he gives them to just be at that professional level where people will still accept to do the interview, you know? Like, imagine you do a gotcha. Imagine if Conan did a gotcha with Meltzer, then Meltzer would never want to take Conan's phone calls anymore. So you have to understand people trying to toe that line a little bit. But there's a way to do it, and Chris has mastered that. You can push back and not be a pussy and still like make it like Meltzer might not ever do an interview with CVV either, but again, I don't know. I think he'd do it. Meltzer would do it. But anyways, though, he's like, Ospreay says, I have an agent who talked to everyone, and I told everyone about my situation and why I wanted to remain in the UK, which is why that hurt me a little bit. So because what Triple H described personally relates to you and a myriad other pro wrestlers, you took it personally because you told your agent to tell WWE, hey, I have my situation in the UK. I just want limited dates or blah, blah, blah. I don't want to leave the UK. I don't want to pick up my life and go. I don't know if the shoe fits where it's like, you know, the choice you made, dude. And Triple H hears stories all day of people from all over the world, Ospreay, who have wives, girlfriends, parents, folks, step kid, everything. And they all pick. He deals with class fulls of people who pick up and leave everything every day, like in NXT. They're dealing with people who will pick up and drop everything for a shot to prove that they can be at the tippy top. And that's all it is, bro. And if you feel like you're not that dude, and then that what he said pertains to you, then okay. Now, I've also heard that it was Triple H was referring to AEW guys, obviously, but he was just referring to like all of the people who prefer to sign over there. Like, it's not directed just at Will, right? But it's more of like he was just saying it in general. But Will's the one who really got hot about it, and they let him out there, and he said the stupid, so he's got to live with it. But I just don't buy, and I would also take Will at face value like I did Tony Khan there and go, yeah, Tony's really not around and tweeting out dumb. It seems like he is listening, you know, a little bit more. With Ospreay, it's like, bro, a month ago, 2 weeks ago or whatever on the show, you were wrestling some fat schlub who's pretending to be Triple H, who came out to Triple H's music and did the water bottle thing and made fun of Triple H, and then you hit him with a pedigree. And people tried to say, oh, you don't understand the stipulation of the match. I don't need to. Someone booked that, and Will's like, that's great, bruv. So you furthered the, and then now, like a week later, when you're with Chris, you're like, nah, bruv, I don't even know him. I'm not even bitter like that, bruv. That's like Cody Rhodes not being able to cop and admit, hey, Cody smashed the throne in AEW. Do you know what he said when he went? He's like, I was bitter. It was me being childish a little bit, but also resentful or whatever. He said it a million times. He just owned it. And we're all like, huh, sweet. You know, cool. We like that. Up, people up, humans up. You're not this, oh, my matches are 5 stars, bruv. And if these idiot dumb fans over here saw me rock their minds, bruv, when I do the flip, bruv, and fall down and get back up, bruv. And when I do that, these little simple-minded, I'd blow their minds and they'd be orgasming because they've never seen I'm infallible, perfect God, the God of everything. 5-star, 7-star Tokyo Dome, bruv. Or just be like, yeah, up, man. I don't even know him like that. Maybe he wasn't even just talking about me. Maybe it was me, but maybe it was everyone. You know, I'm not even trying to burn a bridge there, you know, and I'm just glad what AEW did for my family. And, you know, I take this personally. My business is personal to me. People say don't take business isn't personal, but it's personal to me, bro. And I let it come out on TV. And I get why some fans don't like it, but we have freedom to talk and I just did that. And whatever, you know, like, bro, it's all you got to do, man. But it's always like the 7-star, your minds you'll start wanking in the sheets, bruv. Start wanking in the girl's hair next to you, bruv. When I come out with me attire and do me flips, bruv. You know, it's always that. It's like, calm them down. The greatest string of shows ever. We're booking. They're amazing. What? Just calm down, you guys. Like, what the? It's not just like this perfect. If you saw this, it's like acid, man. Shut up already. Jesus. I'm harping on this really hard. I don't mean to go so hard on the guy, but it's like, come on. No one's like, shut the up. AEW has filed to trademark AEW Spring Breakthrough. Spring Breakthrough. Okay. Spring Breakthrough. What's the other one? Spring Breakin'? So they're doing Spring Breakthrough? Okay. Very original. I mean, I thought of it first. It was the original. Right? What the? But Spring Breakthrough, okay. Hopefully another pay-per-view, a new franchise. AEW wrestlers and other personnel have reportedly pitched the idea of trying to bring Kendrick Lamar to AEW. I just don't think that'll ever happen. I'm so sorry. And all that would have to happen is this is all that would happen. They would ask Kendrick, and then one of Kendrick's wrestling friends would text him and be like, bro, this is what happened with Punk and AEW and Jack Perry and all that. Here's Cornette's parody. And then Kendrick would understand and be like, yeah, dude, that. So we hurt people. Here's Monet with Shelton Benjamin. And we have a video, right, in the bookmarks here. And Triple H's thoughts, who will be a guest on this show sooner than later, actually. And we're both busy folk, and we've been trying to link it up for a minute. But he goes, all these photos with everyone at the Queen of the Ring premiere, but not with the coworker that actually stars in the movie. Jealousy is ugly. Pretty crazy. But Tony Storm is in the movie. But yeah, no Tony Storm anywhere. But you'll see, guys, like even the main star of the movie, none of these people are pictured with her. It's kind of odd. But then you have Cornette doing it with them. And I quote tweeted it and made the joke. I was like, when y'all went to the premiere, did the AEW wrestlers have to do earmuffs when Cornette's parts were on the screen? Did they have to cover their eyes when Big Bad Jimbo was on the screen? So Will Ospreay, here's him talking about the Triple H thing. So I roasted it before. I'll play it through, and maybe I'll have further comments. I don't know.
Why did you take those comments from Triple H so personally? He didn't say your name.
Didn't say my name, but
why did you?
Boom! See how Giga Chad asks him. He doesn't say, so like you kind of seemingly took them. Did you take it personally? Or no, he's like, why did you take them personally? It's not a question. Or like that is the question, but like that aspect of it isn't in question here. I'm stating this as a fact for my question. You know, why the did you take that so seriously? And it's not confrontational. The Giga Chad. Here we go.
Why did you take those comments from Triple H so personally? He didn't say your name.
Didn't say my name, but
why did you think he was talking about you specifically?
He was, and like I've got people that I won't throw under the bus and saying, yeah, it was about me. I won't throw.
That's so like, how do you know? Me agent told me, bruv. Meltzer told me because he asked his sources. Well, they've been wrong. How do you know? Oh, a wrestler, bruv, of mine. No, man. People talking, playing telephone, telling you, getting in your head. That happens all the time to people. Okay? You're not this infallible person, dude.
Throwing my names on the bus, but it was about me. But like, I don't think it's like, I'm not taking it personally like, oh, that hurt my feelings. It's just kind of like, all right, you take a friendly jab at me, I'll take one back. There's nothing like horrible about it. Like, I don't hate the guy. Oh, I've never met him. How can I hate someone that I've never even met?
You didn't even talk to him?
No, I've never spoke to him. Oh,
bro, he took a barb. Let's say it was at you. It was at a press conference thing. You wasted time on your TV show that you just got signed to bring it up and talk about people you don't know. They're sex acts. And then you're talking about if people in WWE saw me, they'd be wanking. They'd have an orgasmic experience, bruv. It's weird. Am I wrong, chat? Does he give off weirdo vibes the more we're kind of... It's kind of like weirdo and sort of like entitlement. I don't mean to be that guy, but it's like, bro, you're not this... sorry, I went off on...
Like, I have an agency to talk to everyone, and like, I've told everybody about my situation and why I want to remain in the UK, which is why that like kind of like hurt me a little bit, but just like not.
So did you tell him I can't do the grind, bruv, because I have my situation back there, bruv? So is that specifically what you said, and that's why you're attributing it to you? That seems really odd that he specifically attributes him to himself, and that's what Giga Chad Van Vliet's trying to ask him. He's like, what? Well, why? Will? Yeah, I don't know. Somebody said, your agent said that. Somebody said he doesn't want to embrace the grind, and you said that somewhere. And so when you heard Triple H say that, it resonated with you because you said that to your agent or something. Blame your agent. Be mad at that guy for saying dumb on your behalf. Who played telephone on your behalf for Triple H to say that thing that struck you and to where you can attribute it to yourself so personally, and then also to where you're like, well, people told me, bruv. You got some dumbass playing some bad telephone, dude. You really should figure that out. That seems like a you problem.
To the point where like it keeps me up at night. It's like, okay, you take a jab at me, I'll take one back, and then that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
And then someone was at this show that I was doing some stuff for Pro Wrestling Eve, and they do this thing called the Multiverse Rumble, and everybody.
You guys hear this? Now here's his cope. He looked right at the camera. He saw the Van Vliet comment and saw what I said. This is literally because of Phil Marks right here, chat. It is. It's the most, when they said, what question do you want to ask Ospreay? That was the most liked one. Do you think Bruv didn't look under there? Think Giga Chad didn't see it? Look at him go, oh, and then there was like the multiverse rumble. And, you know, and look at him looking at the camera. This is because of PWT. What the? Dude. Yo, come on, man. This is hey, you know what they say?
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
Let's go, dude. So look at this. Let's go back a bit here.
To the point where like it keeps me up at night. I was like, okay, you take a jab at me, I'll take one back, and then that's it, we're done.
Yeah.
And then someone was at this show that I was doing some stuff for Pro Wrestling Eve, and they do this thing called the Multiverse Rumble, and everybody dresses up as characters, and somebody dressed up as Triple H.
Chad, I'm joking. Come on.
And walked in here, and I looked and went,
oh, I make millions of dollars, bruv. If it really didn't bother me, then I'll just say no, because I'm Will Ospreay, and you're not going to let this goofball dress like this if I say no, because I'm Will Ospreay, and if you want me to do your show, I just am not going to go out and not even pull a diva move. Just be like, bro, I can't do that. That's such bad optics. But you were in on it, and now you're making an excuse.
I've got to do it now, haven't I?
Like, why'd you have to do it?
Because it's funny. And if anyone...
And I agree. I'm down with a good troll. And I agree if you think it's funny, then that's cool. But then you have bad optics. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't think that through at all. It wasn't about, as Robbie Lawler gets inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, you just didn't think that out at all. You didn't have the self-awareness to know that, like, oh, this is just going to blow up in my face if I do this.
Do it because it's funny. And if anyone doesn't think it's funny, then I can't tell you what your humor is, but my humor is this is hilarious. I'm going to do it.
But why? Because the perception is that you have a beef, but your channel, it's not even a beef like that. But then I do this thing to sort of add fuel to that fire. And it's not until Phil Marks asked Giga Chad Van Vliet on his X about this specific thing. And then Giga Chad Van Vliet impressed me. Did I even explain it? And I just said, because it's funny. But I will give him that. It is kind of funny. But here's the thing. We made it, okay? We made it. Did you catch that? The comment kept him up at night? That's crazy. No. I think he was saying, like, it's not like it kept me up at night, bro. Phil is on point. But for real, that's all I'm saying. I think that's because of your boy Phil. I think that's because the PWT universe, man. That's all I got to say. Go look. It's the most like it was the question. It was the pressing issue, dude, that everybody wanted the answer to. So our last bit of AEW news this week, AEW and Hollywood stars gathered for the Queen of the Ring movie premiere in LA. I can't wait to see this, man. Let's take a look. We're gonna have Don Stevens over this and just notice who's not there.
At Queen of the Ring premiere red carpet here in Los Angeles. I am very excited for this event.
Out here supporting all of the girls that are involved in this movie. I'm really excited to sit there and watch it.
Except for Kamille. All the girls who are involved except for Kamille. And the main star of the movie doesn't really with any of us. And Kamille was taking shots at them. At the ladies and the people in pro wrestling. Right, on Jim Cornette, that he had to conduct interviews. Thank God Jim did that too. At least he has the balls, man.
And have some popcorn and maybe a glass of wine and just kick back and watch a movie about wrestling.
It's a very big story about anyone who feels like society and stereotypes are going to marginalize what their dreams are. And, you know, the spirit of Mildred is just an all-American, timeless woman who changed culture forever.
One of the most epic experiences of my life. When you see this, maybe like Tony Storm is a masterpiece.
Okay, AEW got an interview, red carpet style with her. Now, I haven't seen her with even a AEW wrestler. Maybe that'll change. Let's see.
She is epic.
And she's a terrific actress. I mean, you'll see. She's just fantastic. You can't get a bad angle on her face. I can't imagine anyone else playing Clara Mortensen other than timeless Tony Storm after seeing the performance that everyone here will see tonight.
Man.
Where's Kamille? So no mention, oh yeah, timeless, she plays whatever. Who does Kamille play? Who does Kamille play? And why aren't they talking about how great she is in the movie?
And women here to support this and push this to the forefront.
Look at this. And you have people interviewing, man. You see these people, and I don't mean to be the hater, dude, but like some of these people you see interviewing on the red carpet and two is like, I don't know. I don't want to take shots at other creators and shit. It's just like no one in particular, but it's like, man, are you kidding me? See these people complaining, oh, it's so hard to make it as on X, and you're at these premieres. Phil Marks ain't allowed at no premieres, bro. What are you talking about? Holy bro, it's so funny, dude. You got to embrace that grind, bruv.
everybody can understand.
Oh, Daniels is there. The whole roster, it seems.
Origins and the struggle.
Everyone but Kamille was invited to this thing.
Because of what women wrestlers had to go through to get it to where we see today. And hopefully now in the present of 2025, we can really appreciate what the women do all around the world of wrestling on TV every week.
No, Kamille! Isn't she the final boss? I have to see this movie. If Kamille is more prominent in it than Tony, or if Camille's like the final boss, or so it's just up there, not even featuring her. You didn't see the main actress in there with any of the AEW talent. You saw Jim interviewing Kamille and I forget her name, Emily, I believe is her name. You see them together. You know what I mean? Britt Baker was also in the movie. She's not being featured. What's going on, man? It's such a kooky thing going on in AEW and just their little promo package. Nothing about Kamille, nothing about Britt. The main star of the movie isn't with the AEW people, but she's giving interviews and hanging out with Kamille and Jim Cornette. And I wonder why, chat. I really wonder why. Like, are we making this up? Superman, Tony's prerogative, but let's take a look at what's going on over in Collision Land, ladies and gentlemen. How about we do that? Okay.
Right out the gates. You think there's some revenge on the mind of Hologram here? I think so. Yeah, absolutely. Goes through, backflip. Just getting Gralisico to come towards the corner, which he did. Ducks out of the way. So quick. What? Well, Gralisico is as well.
Have a cruiserweight title, and this is the awesomest. I don't know what anyone's clowning. This is just like actually pretty good lucha, you know? Okay, I guess the flips at the end, hologram. I think they're supposed to both flip at the same time. So yeah, that it up, I guess. And I get it. This isn't for everybody, but in Mexico, this is like they'd be like bored. It seems like this crowd's bored too. But CMLL, they're the best at retaining casual viewers.
Start the fires. Hologram straight out the gates. You think there's
Let's watch it one more time. We're gonna get yellow flag, Chad. So I'm gonna have to clip this part out. Patreon.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Goes through, backflip. Just getting Gralisico to come towards the corner, which he did.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's kind of stupid there. It gets kind of stupid, yeah.
Ducks out of the way. So
and the crowd just doesn't give a. It's just proof like Putz Meltzer doesn't know what he's ever talking about.